It's not down now.
Here it is.
Found it?
Of course I found it.
Okay, so I'm reviewing Avengers Infinity War from 2018.
I played this one with you once.
It's a
difficult.
two-part, this is part one of the Infinity story, Infinity Goggles storyline, and the Endgame's part two part of the story, the second part of the story, titled Endgame. And there's a lot of characters in this movie, and lots of stuff happens. Spider-Man skips his road trips to stop an alien, to help the Avengers out with the alien invasion that's happening around New York, and ends up in space with Tony Stark and Doctor Strange because bunch of space stuff is happening, and so we're all seeing Tony Stark is dead, assuming, which brings the other Avengers members out of hiding, the ones who didn't sign the Sokovia Accord in Civil War. So that would be Captain America team, and also the ones like Black Widow and also Avengers who were on board Sokovia Accord basically went rogue, and now on Captain America's team. So Captain America's team is basically the backup. Doctor Strange gets saved by Spider-Man and Tony, and Tony decides not to go back to Earth and goes back to goes to Thanos instead of going. I think that would somehow be a smarter decision than going back to Earth and going away from Thanos. And I don't understand Tony's logic of his strategy, and his plan ends up backfiring because after the team with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and Thor runs into the Guardians and goes builds and the Guardians go get a new weapon built, another hammer. After Mjolnir got shattered in Ragnarok, he gets a new one called Stormbreaker, and almost dies trying to get the weapon built because he had to keep a dying star open, and it was kind of blasting him and pretty much burnt him. And somehow after the weapon gets built, he gives him a power boost, and he goes to Earth when everything's going to hell in Wakanda, along with the other Avengers that are on Earth. All the Avengers that are on Earth are in Wakanda now, trying to get the stone out of Vision safely without killing him. And one's supposed to stay with Vision until the stone gets out of Vision and then destroy it. Wanda decides to bail on the plan, which gives Thanos' army a bit of the upper hand. And also in space, Thanos got ambushed by the Guardians and the rest of the Avengers in space on at his homeworld planet before the population went extinct for some vague reasons, and so they lose because Star-Lord basically loses his cool and finds out that Thanos killed his own daughter, Gamora. His stepdaughter, no less, but still, which also that's who Star-Lord was in love with. So he basically throws the whole plan out of the window and just starts attacking Thanos, even just when almost when they got the gauntlet off to save the rest of the universe before half of it is wiped from existence. So, because Star-Lord lost his cool, he pretty much doomed the whole universe. Half of it anyway, so, then Doctor Strange decides to give Willie the Time Stone instead of using it as a weapon throughout the entire film. He avoids using it as a weapon throughout the entire film completely, even though he keeps on hinting at it. He just gives it to Thanos willingly so he can get another Infinity Stone so that he can save Tony Stark's life while also doing half of the universe by giving the stone to Thanos. So then Thanos goes to Earth in Wakanda, and that's when Thanos actually runs into the Avengers. And the Avengers losing and getting their ass handed to them, and pretty badly, so Vision convinces Wanda to destroy the stone and him while he's still attached to the stone. And she does succeedingly. However, because Thanos has the Time Stone, he can rewind time before Vision stone got destroyed, and also bring Vision back to life, including the stone back in one piece instead of in atoms and shattered pieces, you know? So, for some reason, Doctor Strange was too stupid or arrogant to not think of using Time Stone, but Thanos was competent enough to use the Time Stone. And Doctor Strange, in this point in the MCU, is the Sorcerer Supreme. So, basically, he should know better than to use the stone when he should have, used it. And any time during the movie. It could have been a really good backup plan. So, because he now has all Infinity Stones, all 6 of them, this is when he collects Vision Stone. He now has all 6, and gives him basically big power up, and he just when he's about to snap his fingers and wipe the half of the universe away, Thor attacks him with Stormbreaker in the chest, and instead of for some reason he didn't went for the head. Thanos points out that was pretty stupid or foolish of him not to go for the head instead of going for the chest. And so because Thor didn't went for the head, he pretty much also doomed the universe. And Thanos basically won and snapped half of the universe away of all living life across the universe. So now he's retired on a farm, and the Avengers, most of the Avengers got snapped away, and what's left of the Avengers is only a small portion of, well, what was most. There's only a small portion of the Avengers left before. After they got snapped away. So, so yeah, they lost. Oh, and also Nick Fury and Maria Hill get snapped away, and so does Wrestling New York, as well as a bunch of accidents going to hell. Everyone's getting snapped away, including Maria Hill and Nick Fury at the end credits. And it teases for the Captain Marvel movie because that's why Nick Fury paid Captain Marvel. And yeah, so yeah, I honestly really like this movie a lot. I mean, in the IMAX enhanced version for the movie is the one I'm reviewing now, and this movie was shot in every scene, including the end credits, was shot in full screen. The entire movie was shot in full screen, including the end credits. Which, when you get to see the whole picture of the film, somehow it like fixes the color and doesn't make it all smushed together, and it doesn't all blend in one place. It actually looks like there's a variety of colors and different shades of shadows and different shades of color. Really come out nicely in this version of the film. In the IMAX enhanced version on Disney Plus is where I found this version. As far as I know, this is the only way you can find the version on Disney Plus of the IMAX enhanced, which is that's the only way you're going to see the full screen, everything that was shot on the screen. That's the only way you're going to see the movie. Like all of the movie is like you're going to see more of the top and the bottom of the screen that was cut off after being shot on film and after it got converted to widescreen. Which is probably why when it got released worldwide, it looked absolutely like garbage. Because they convert to widescreen, which kind of can also muffle up the color and make the color look all mushed together and fused together. And this looks wrong when you do that, when that happens. So basically, this movie kind of fixed my problem with my number one problem that I had with this movie by showing the whole scene by showing all the entire screen in full screen. Everything was shot on this camera, and which in hindsight kind of did fix the serious color problems in the night and day scenes within this movie. So yeah, I ended up really liking this movie, and I give it a 10 out of 10. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.